Well, George Thomas is nicknamed Heat. I think he'd be safe to call him the Road Runner, too. That kid can run.
Defense, first down.
He turns more 6-yard gains into 14-yard, 15-yard plays than anybody I've seen this year.
Does he remind you of, say, Mark Duper, Mark Clayton, Vance Johnson, some of the NFL guys about his size?
Guys with great speed. He probably is faster than Clayton and equally as fast as Duper and Vance Johnson.
That's a pretty good statement there. First and 10. Rebels just short of their 40-yard line. Bernard Jackson, along with Ickey Woods behind Williams. They run Ickey Woods again for a short game. It's getting late for the Rebels. They're down by 21 points with 12:45 to play. Effie Pa'u'u made the tackle. What do you think of Ickey Woods, Dave? Is he a NFL draft pick, first, second rounder?
Yeah, I don't know if he's a first or second rounder. He's got good size, 220 pounds. Players now, especially running backs, really have to have the ability to catch the football. Woods, I think, can. And because of his physical ability, you would figure he'll be drafted rather highly.
Second and 7.
Great, come on, Greg.
Williams throws the ball away. He was pressured from behind. Next week, we return with our Thursday night action. Richmond Spiders versus the BU Terriers, 8 o'clock from Boston. And next Saturday, 4 o'clock, doubleheader begins. Air Force against Brigham Young. And Saturday night, Emmett Smith and the Gators against the Auburn Tigers and Jeff Berger.
That's a good one. Emmett Smith.
That is a good one.
Against Tracy Rocker and that Auburn defense.
Emmett Smith over 1,000 yards faster than anybody as a rookie. Even better than Herschel, Tony Dorsett. We'll be talking about him in the Heisman maybe as soon as next year, if not this year. No sophomore never won it. Delay draw. Ickey Woods. First down yardage. Flag is down. And he's down to the 43-yard line. Tackle made by Ryan Rasnick and Barry Kidney. Woods is looking. They get a hold. Could have almost anything where the flag was thrown.
Going to have a clip. Ickey Woods will run the draw. Now, John Puccini on the pass rush, he actually runs right by Ickey Woods. They're going to disregard the flag. There will be no clipping call. First down run stands. And Ickey Woods tonight has had a sensational game. The big fella's got to be tired and yet enough speed to get to the outside. Here's the call right there. Jay Taylor actually turns his back. The flag went in. They picked the flag up. I'm not sure how you do that. I guess when you're the official, you can do pretty much what you want. But there was no penalty called.
What happens? Is that something where one official overrules the other, or he just didn't see what he thought he saw?
Well, I've heard disregard the flag on a pass thrown because the ball was not catchable, but I've never heard disregard the flag on a clip ball.
Here's Williams going from Mike Reddick. Taylor on the coverage. Reddick comes back, but he can't catch it. He trapped the football. Taylor actually came up with it somehow off the turf. As they tried to air out with Mike Reddick, who has had a quiet ball game. He lost some of his confidence, they say. He dropped some passes early. This one he couldn't get to.
Mike Reddick on the bottom against Jay Taylor. Reddick can run, so can Taylor. Excellent coverage. He looks back when the receiver looks back. Reddick tries to fight his way inside. The ball underthrown and thrown too far to the inside. Couldn't come up with a catch.
He made some effort, though. Outstanding play by Reddick to make it close. Williams now 10 of 18, 160 yards. Here comes pass number 19. And George Thomas runs it down. He looked like he outran that football. Greg Cox there on the coverage. Out of bounds, stops the clock, 11:27 to play. Richard Williams making his third start. Began the season. First week, second week was cold in week 2 in the third quarter. And they brought in Scott Sims for 3 straight weeks. Now they're back to Williams. And his best game of the year. Well, the option is knocked away, and Alexander has it. What a play by Chris Alexander. That's a backbreaker right there.
Well, this is called getting your hand in the passing lane. Williams might have pitched the ball a bit too quickly. Alexander will come from the left, untouched, and he's between Williams and Woods. Had he been able to corral the football without having it go to the ground, he would have been off to the races. Got to run that option. You've got to go to Alexander and force him to take the quarterback and then pitch it. Woods pitched the ball a little bit too soon. Excuse me. Williams pitched the ball a little bit too soon.
Alexander, a big play guy. Perez is going to drop the pass. Rolling out. Time has a man open. Still Clump. First down. Out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Well, coming into the ballgame, Clump had caught 8 balls all year. They have used him at the right time. Bill Clump, a finance major and our student of the game on the Spartan side. It's a pretty good GPA, almost 3.5.
8 passes the entire year. Think he's happy tonight?
Yeah, he's happy.
Got 2 touchdowns. He's been everywhere.
And they didn't use him much last year. One of 3 tight ends. He was mainly as a blocker. Here's Kenny Jackson spinning. Short of the 30, out across the 35, though. And the clock rolls. 11:03 to play. Altney Red made the tackle. Well, we spoke at the outset. If the Spartans win this football game, this race in the PCAA is theirs. Pretty much. They would go 4-0. Although Fullerton State coming into this week is 3-1. But Fresno State, who most people feel is the next best team behind the Spartans, lost today, upset by Pacific. They fall to 1-2. And if Vegas loses, they'll have 2 losses also. Here's Saxon. That'll bring up a 3rd and 5. Darnell Pickens made the tackle, number 55.
Wayne Nunley said he didn't feel his kids would be intimidated when we talked to him yesterday. And you know what? He was right. UNLV has really played hard. They haven't had a lot of success at stopping this Bonnet San Jose State offense, but nobody has had great success this year stopping these guys. A lot of weapons.
Liggins, the prime weapon in motion. Perez. They're coming. Cook trying to drag him down. Perez gets it off. Can't find Saxon. That would have been some play if they would have hit that one. But they don't. And now it's 4th and 5 from the 31. Let's see what they do. Do they go or do they go for a 48-yard field goal?
This guy bench presses 350. Watch him with his left hand hold off the linebacker Cooks, then throw the football and almost come up with the reception.
We have a shaken up Rebel. Todd Cooks. We'll be back in a moment. Well, while we're away, we missed 2 plays. One, a big one of the football game, a sweep option play as the Spartans went for it on 4th down. The pitch went to Saxon. It was broken up by Derek Nicholson, number 90. And the Spartans gave the ball over on downs to UNLV. And moments ago, Ickey Woods ran for about a 7-yard gain out to the 45-yard line.
You can see Todd Cooks, outstanding linebacker for UNLV, hit in the face by Mike Perez with the straight arm.
So the Rebels have the ball, down by 3 touchdowns. And they're trying for one here. Reddick deep. Out of bounds, he catches. Good coverage there by Jay Taylor. Taylor was beaten once, big, by George Thomas on a 58-yarder. And they've tried to nail him in the second half, Dave, and they have not been able to beat him.
Well, Taylor has great speed. I'm not sure what they consider to be a mismatch, trying to get Riddick on Taylor. Thomas is a guy that certainly has shown the ability to get open tonight. Of course, now San Jose State aware of that, doubling Thomas virtually every place that he goes.
3rd down. There's a draw. Ickey Woods, 1st down. Midfield. Drops the football, and Alexander has it again. His 2nd big play in a row. And his 2nd straight fumble recovery, and Wayne Nunley goes to his knees.
Great running backs fumble the football because of second effort. The draw, Ickey Woods will break through, makes a nice decision right there to bounce to the outside. You can see the reach in. I'm not sure if it was Alexander with the left hand, but Alexander came up with the football.
He may have stripped it and recovered it himself, like he did the pitch earlier. He's having some game. And Perez is going for it all. Look at Clump all by himself. Now, there's so many weapons. Liggins, McLeod, Roberts, Saxon, Jackson. He's probably the last guy they worry about. They better change that as he has a bum ankle walking off with his 4th catch and 2 have caught for touchdowns.
Well, catch number 5 may be a costly one for Bill Klump. Perez is back, Klump in the seam. They send both receivers, 2 receivers down the seam. Now watch his right leg, right when it comes down. There, oh. I tell you, that makes the next receiver wince because Drawhorn will go on that right knee. And that doesn't look good.
That's hard to even watch. As he planted his right foot, Dave, it was buckled back and Drawhorn.
Let's not watch that one again.
Wow. 8:54 to play. Now we have a timeout called by the Spartans. They lead 42-21.
Go over, Jeep.
Well, when you're looking up for the football and you can't see where they're coming from, let's just hope that's a hyperextended knee. It looks like he knocked the knee back.
Wow, the knee is
let's
not meant
not see
to
it
do that. That's incredible.
That's ugly. The knee's not really made for football,
right.
Period.
Although Klump got up, looked pretty good. Perez going for the end zone. Incomplete for Guy Liggins in a timing pattern. Look, Klump is walking around. He looks all right.
I'm glad to see that. Oh, boy, hate to make my knees hurt, my ankles, everything hurts.
He's coming back in the football game, up by 3 touchdowns. Our student of the game and maybe our gamer of the game. 8:48 to play from San Jose. The Spartans, who average 33.1 a game. 8th best scoring team in the country, have scored 42 and trying for 6 more. They're going the wrong way. This could be a tremendous loss. Mike Perez is thrown down for about a 28-yard loss. Mike Freeman throws him down. Remember Bob Greasy in the Super Bowl against Dallas about 10 years ago, kept turning his body? That's what Perez does here.
He's been so good the entire game at getting away from people. Sometimes you think he can do it each and every time he takes a snap, and boy, there are going to be times the defense just wins out. In that case, Perez has to try to get rid of the football so he can take it back to the original line of scrimmage. It is 3rd and, 33?
Yeah. I was actually 5 yards off. That was a 23-yard sack by Ike Freeman. Perez. Look at this pass to Saxon. He dropped the football. You never know what Mike Perez will do, how he will get it off. That was some improv almost to James Saxon.
He can do it all. He's looking down the field with the seam pattern. Decided he didn't want to throw it, and then he said, well, there's Saxon. Let me flip it to him.
Look at that.
Flips it over Wren's head.
That's amazing.
Saxon can't catch it.
Well, that's the improv. Bad snap, gets by Deal. Doesn't matter who picks it up. It's going to be the Rebels football at the 29-yard line of San Jose State with 7:49 to play. Freddie Phillips covers the football. Number 21, the defensive back. Bad snap there right through Tom Deal.
Well, Ozzie Smith makes this play, but Tom Deal cannot. The snap will be low, and it goes right between his legs. Oops.
Oh, get your legs together.
Now panic is set in. Deal realizes there will be a number of folks after him. He can't get to the football before UNLV does. And a turnover.
Here comes the 7:49 to play, and the Rebels just will not go down for the count here. They've been teetering. They've taken about 3 or 4 8 counts, but they stay on their feet, Dave. And if they score a touchdown here, you know, it's not over entirely. The way they have been able to strike big and quickly.
It's been kind of a crazy game. You've had a little bit of everything. Pretty good offense, some good defense at times, some good special teams, and some bad.
Richard Williams. Over the middle. There's nobody on that side of the football field. He overthrew who he was trying to go to. I believe it was number 3, George Thomas.
Had Thomas for a touchdown. Thomas on the hook and go. Ran right by Phil Prash, and Williams simply overthrew him.
Williams came into the ball game 45.3% completion ratio. Not bad, though. Tonight is Air Force. We'll see them next week on ESPN. Winners, Colorado State will see against San Diego State. November 14th. That's their first win of the year for the Rams. Second and 10. Handoff, Ickey Woods on the draw. Breaks the tackle. Look at him go. First down. Slips down, though. Out of bounds he went. Ryan Rasnick there to make sure he stay in bounds.
Pro scouts like to add up how much yardage you make after the initial contact. Woods is hit right there. Well, let's count the yardage as he breaks tackles. 5, breaks another tackle. 10, actually makes close to 15 yards after the first hit. That's some powerful yardage from a young man that last year was a part-time player.
He's piling up some big numbers, 179 yards. Came into the ball game, 490 yards their first 5 games. Here he comes again, Ickey Woods. 7:25 to play. Woods from Fresno, California. Last year, an alternate. Played in 8 games, rushed for 240 yards. He's almost going to have that tonight. As we look at Claude Gilbert, 4th-year head coach of the Spartans. He has won here 24 times, lost 16. Tied once. The tie against the Rebels. He's won 1-1 against this team. 2nd and 9. From the Spartan twins. Williams going for it up. Reddick turns his body and he can't pull it down, though. Wrong shoulder he went to.
The key to the timing pass, the alley-oop pass, if you'd like to call it that, is to get the football up and over the left shoulder of the receiver. Williams on a 3-step drop, get the ball up. The ball's got to be thrown a little bit sooner. It's got to be thrown up the field and not so far to the sideline. Makes it an impossibility to come back in a ball like that. Give your receiver a chance to come up with a great catch, because certainly tonight they've shown that they can.
Look at that number, 1 for 11 on 3rd downs. That is horrible. 30% is what you're after. They haven't even made 10%. They're going for it over the middle, broken up by Jay Taylor. And we are in 4-down territory, you would assume. No, they're bringing Jim Cook out for a field goal.
Well, you figure this one out. They're 21 down in less than 7 minutes to go.
I can't. Why would they kick a field goal? Wayne Nunley, unless they're going to fake it, has brought his kicker, Jim Cook, on.
This would make it 18. You would still need 3 touchdowns.
And they only have 6:42 to go.
Folks, that's why we're up here and he is down there.
The 29-yard field goal also, not a gimme by any means. Cook is 4 for 5 on the year. It is up. I think he's got it. It is good. So, with 6:38 to play, it is Spartans 42 and the Rebels 24. Well, we had some second quarter fun there as San Jose State outscored them 4 touchdowns to 2. And overall have outscored them 6 touchdowns to 3 touchdowns and a field goal. And Jim Cook just nailed one there from 29 yards away. And Wayne Nunley told us yesterday he wanted to give Cook some more work. Yep. But that was some time to do it, down by 21.
Tough to figure. I don't have an answer.
Well, that's one theory. You had that theory in the break that he was trying to give him some more work. Thinking ahead maybe to later in the year.
Yep.
Does that mean he's cashing in for this week?
I would guess so, although the score wouldn't indicate it.
Let's see if they squib the kick. Yes, onside kick. Big hop. It is covered, though, by San Jose State very nicely there by Rodney Banks, a defensive back, a sophomore from Rivera Beach. ESPN's presentation of PCAA football has been brought to you by Slim Jim, America's favorite meat snack, now in the snack section of your supermarket. By GTE, GTE. By Kemper, an independent agent to represent us. Once you compare Kemper, you'll ride with us. And by the U.S. Armed Forces. It's a great place to start. And a great place for San Jose to start. At the Rebel 46, now that the Rebel 42 as Kenny Jackson carries for 4. Clock rolls with 6:28 to play. San Jose State came in, having won their last 6 here at Spartan Stadium. Overall, having won their last 4 and 15 of their last 16. And in the PCAA conference, having won 10 straight. Conference record is 12. This will give them 11. And their schedule coming up is not difficult. They should close it out unbeaten. There's a 2nd and 5. And they hand off again to Kenny Jackson. San Jose State 3-0 coming in. They'll go to 4-0, barring a late miracle. And we see Fresno State falling to 1-2. Fullerton State is 3-1. San Jose State defeated them a couple of weeks ago, 46-19. First tiebreaker, of course, in conference play, head-to-head competition. So San Jose State has to lose 2 of their last 3 to enter into that situation. Looks doubtful. They will do that. There's a screen pass to Jackson on 3rd down. First down he has. Still on his feet to the 22-yard line as they just keep on rolling. Tyrone Carter made the tackle, but it was way too late. Also, Ken Tucker over to help out.
Great job this time of the swing pass, but watch number 61, Doug McCreed, as he gets out in front of Jackson. There's the block right there. Brings Jackson and San Jose State evidently not through offensively. Let's give a lot of credit to this offense because last week, Mike Perez, 17 of 41. They win the game, but certainly statistically, not what he was looking for.
Kenny Jackson picks up a couple. Spartan offense, with the exception of their game last week against Fresno State, has rolled up some big PCAA numbers. 46 versus Fullerton State, 57 versus New Mexico State. Last week held at 20 by the Bulldogs, and they have 42 tonight, and we're not done. 4.5 to play. Perez is 24 of 35 for 402 yards, 3 touchdowns. Pitches to Kenny Jackson, and he's down to the 16-yard line, where the Spartans will face a 3rd down. San Jose State, a record of 6-1. Their one loss, week 3 to Oregon State. They were leading that football game by 2 points, 34-33 late. Perez was intercepted, and the Oregon State Beavers kicked a late field goal, 27-yarder with 21 seconds to play. If they hadn't lost that football game, Dave, they would have a 17-game winning streak.
Longest in the country, I believe.
By about 2-fold, I would think. Here's Perez to Saxon. Look at him skip. First down off his feet, but he has the first down. Gotta love James Saxon. 6 foot, 195-pounder, all-purpose yards. He is going to be, I feel, a tough NFL player because he can run.
No doubt about
it.
it.
He can return kicks.
They put big numbers on the board virtually against everybody because they've got great personnel. Forget the quarterback, who is outstanding in his own right. A tremendous thrower and a great leader. He's got a fine supporting cast.
Yeah.
He's got 3 or 4 guys that he can get the football to and just let them run, and they can break the game wide open.
There's one of them, James Saxon, breaking it wide open up the middle, down to the 1-yard line. 3 minutes to play, and San Jose State is going in for number 7, it looks like.
Well, Saxon, number 20 at 200 pounds, is a shifty runner. Here you'll see he's also a very strong runner. Look at that. Hello. As you come up from the defensive secondary, you better be ready to get jolted. And that time, number 25, Ken Tucker, took the worst of it.
We have a timeout on the field as Saxon goes over. 2:54 to play. And the Spartans leading big at 42-24. We have one of the Rebels down to his knees, Adrian Harris, reserve outside linebacker. A little bit groggy. That's the guy that Saxon lowered the boom on?
No, he got Ken Tucker, who jumped up, fortunately. If you're a defensive backfield guy, you'd hate to see running backs, any size running back, break through the line of scrimmage and head towards the goal line.
You know, Dave, we have to make a choice here that may be the most difficult of anybody has to make all night. Who is your Yashica player of the game? Because San Jose State.
You're asking me?
Well, I am, because I'm not going to make this one. Pressure's on
Does
you.
it have to be in the winning team?
You would pick one of the Rebels? You'd pick...
I simply ask.
No, it doesn't have to be. Jeffrey Leonard won the National League
Give me a
MVP,
minute.
and they lost. Picked up $50,000 for doing so. They pitch to James Saxon. He has not yet scored a touchdown. And he still has not yet scored a touchdown tonight. Ken Tucker brought him down. Kenny Jackson has scored 3. touchdowns for San Jose State. Perez has thrown for 3, 2 to Bill Klump, and Guy Liggins also caught 1.
He's also thrown for 407 yards. That's the 7th best one-game passing total in the history of San Jose State football.
Well, Saxon didn't score, but he picked up the first down, which is probably better. Because now they can run some more clock.
I have my Yoshika player of the game ready.
All right, here's Jackson. He's got his 4th touchdown. Kenny Jackson has scored 4 times on the ground.
That may change now.
You may pick Jackson. That's 10 touchdowns for him rushing this year, 12 overall.
That's 4 in this game. He ties a record held by 7 other players. One of those players is Johnny Johnson's father. Johnson, of course, the wide receiver. His daddy played here a good many years ago. You can see Kenny Jackson getting the tough yardage inside, and he has done that the entire game.
Not as often as Sergio Olivares has kicked extra points, though. He's 6 for 6. Here's number 7. And he missed it.
Well, you jinxed him.
Here's your story of the game. He's now 6 and 7. 2:22 to play. San Jose State 48, Rebels 24. Sergio Olivares will kick off again. Senior, 5'8", 165 pounds. Just missed, though, an extra point. After making his first 6, he missed his 7th. 2:22 to play. And they stand, as always, for the kickoff here in Northern California. This is George Thomas. He's had some game receiving and running back kicks, and this one will be about a 28-yard return. So the Rebels will come on offense again for one last fling. George Thomas, All-American candidate. Last year caught 34 passes. This year has grabbed 23. And he's had a number of big catches tonight as we have a new quarterback in the game. Scott Sims comes in. He was in once earlier through one pass. It was intercepted by Ryan Rasnick. He's a freshman. Has a stronger arm, they say, than Williams. And he throws near sideline to the tight end, Cedric Davis. And our Yoshika player of the game is Bill Klump.
You're in now.
5 catches, 90 yards, 2 touchdowns. And one, he was wide open. The other, a wild ricochet job, which he made a tremendous job on to catch the ball. Concentration, plus it was a tough catch as he sprawled his body out. Here's Sims, tough catch for Reddick as he bobbled the ball. Eddie Blackshear was flying up that sideline. He had his eyes set on a pick and a touch.
Tough situation for the second-team quarterback, Scott Sims, who has been the starter much of the year to come in. Mop-up time. Wayne Nunley can't be pleased with the outcome. He can be very happy with the effort his kids gave here tonight. They never quit, and they could have very easily quit the first half.
Scott Sims 0 for 2 in the ball game. Had a tough year, 43.2% completion ratio, 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Draw to Ickey Woods. Woods is going to be nearing 200 yards rushing in this football game. As he's out across the 50 before David Knox tackles him, number 60.
He might have been the Yoshika player also of the game. What a great performance tonight.
He really was a strong performer. A career high. We have him 25 carries, 197 yards.
Get him the football.
Get him 200.
Got to do that.
I don't think Wayne Nunley has any idea he has that many yards, though. They want a timeout here with 1:16 to play in the game. As the new freshman quarterback, Scott Sims, who last year redshirted, a bit confused. Wayne Nunley walks out, the former fullback of the Rebels, as we look at the Spartan streak. And you can tack one more on. That'll make it 11. During this streak, they have outscored their opponents coming into play tonight 404 to 190. So they have done it big.
A lot of 40s up there, aren't there?
And up until tonight, their toughest game was versus UNLV. I guess still including tonight. UNLV only lost by 3. And it was a late field goal that did in the Rebels last year at the Sam Boyd Silver Bowl, the home of the Rebels. Coming up after our PCAA football game, we'll go into the studios again. John Saunders and Gail Gardner standing by for an ESPN Sports Center. Busy day as always on the weekends in the fall.
Twins stay alive.
Yes, for the third year in a row, there will be a Game 7 in Major League Baseball's World Series. Tomorrow at the Metrodome, Frank Viola versus Joe McGrain. You know baseball. You were drafted in 3 sports, the NFL, NBA, and also Major League Baseball. You know it all. You're a sportscaster in Denver. What do you like in that one tomorrow?
I think you're going to like Minnesota. I think with Frank Viola and a pretty good rest, got to go with the standing Twins.
I agree with that. Should be tough for Viola at home. There's Sims. And it's intercepted. Eddie Blackshear. And he has open field. If he gets a block, he may go. Ickey Woods pulls him down to the 29-yard line. So a rough ball game for Scott Sims. He has thrown 4 passes. 2 have been completed, but to the wrong colored jerseys.
Well, we thought Blackshear might, in fact, start tonight for Phil Thrash. Sims with the throw, and it simply is not a very good one. Blackshear actually makes a pretty good catch. Looks a little bit like a wide receiver. He is off and running down the sidelines. Give credit right there to Ickey Woods, who has almost 200 yards and yet hustled over to save that from being a touchdown.
And the Spartans have brought in their second-string quarterback, Tony Losi, number 17, who is very strong. He hands off here up the middle for a short gain. Ball carrier Robinson. Randy Robinson, freshman from Santa Monica, California, down south. Losi actually came in one game in the second half for Perez. Those are good numbers. He was the PCAA's co-offensive player of the week, the one ball game he came in, as he's hit for 75% of his balls, 18 of 24, 251 yards. He's a very good backup quarterback.
Losi and Perez were actually tied.
They were, yeah.
Going into the season 2 years ago, Losi hurt himself. Therefore, Perez stepped in and never has stepped out.
That was Kevin Christensen, junior fullback from Clovis, California, who carried. And that's our last play of the football game. San Jose State will go to 7-1. 5th straight win. 4-0 in the PCAA. Their 11th consecutive conference win. And they've got the upper hand to the California Bowl. The Rebels fall to 2-4 overall and 1-2 in PCAA play. Final, Spartans 48 and the Rebels 24. We'll be back with a closing comment from San Jose in a moment. Unofficially, our final numbers for San Jose State, Dave: 491 total yards. Perez threw for 407.
Well, we talked about his performance last week, 17 of 41 against Fresno. Expected him to bounce back, 25 of 37, 407 yards and 3 touchdowns. That is the true Mike Perez.
All right, our college football coverage this week begins on Thursday. Richmond Spiders and the BU Terriers out of the Yankee Conference. Then next Saturday, a doubleheader. Air Force and Brigham Young from the WAC at 4 o'clock. Then SEC